First-person shooter video games have been very popular, especially with these new ones because they got really good graphics. And also, I think most of them have been sold in America because if you couldn't tell, us Americans, we love our guns. Like a lot. Maybe a little too much, some would say. But anyways, here are the top 10 best first-person shooter games, at least in my opinion. Let's go. Coming in at number 10, we have Doom 2016. Now, this is basically the game that revived the Doom series, because if you didn't know, the Doom game that came out before this one was Doom 64, which was made in 1996, and looked like this. And as you can tell, this looks astronomically better than this. But regardless, all Doom games are ahead of their time. I mean, this game looks better than some of the games that came out nowadays. Like, you can't be telling me that this game doesn't look better than Halo Infinite. And that game came out, what, a year ago? This game came out 5 years ago. And it still amazes me, actually, how ahead of this time this game was. And then Doom Eternal, was probably the best game in the Doom series, at least in my opinion. Coming in at number 9, we have Titanfall 2. Now, the main reason it's in number 9 and not further up in the list, it's because, well, Titanfall 2 is, a relatively short game. Like, I think it took my friend, 4 hours to complete it one time. Yeah, but still, it's short, but it's sweet. And honestly, the ending is enough to make a grown man cry. If you know, I'm not gonna, spoil it for anyone, especially if you're, playing the game right now or something. But just know the ending is really sad. And honestly, this game was definitely ahead of its time, and personally, I think it's better than Apex. But the thing I really love about this game is that the storyline actually leads on into Apex. Because, they're made by the same company, and Apex, in a way, is basically Titanfall 3, which unfortunately means that they're not actually going to make a Titanfall 3, but, it's still nice to know that the series continues on in one of the most popular games right now. Coming in at number 8, we have Battlefield 2. Now, every Battlefield game seems to have stunning graphics for its time, and it's not just the graphics too. They all have really good stories behind them that are usually either really epic or really sad. This game always seems to be going on the more depressive, is that even a word? Depressing side of war, but still an amazing game. Coming in at number 7, we have an absolute classic, GoldenEye 007. Now, this is one of the first-person shooters of all time, and this game was revolutionary. I mean, this game is practically iconic. I mean, who doesn't know the phrase 007? I mean, come on. And the game for its time was just incredible. And I mean, just looking back at it now, sure, the game actually does kind of look like, bad now, but just imagine this game like today's graphics and how much we've come. Coming in at number 6, we have Call of Duty 4, aka Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, this was the start of an absolutely amazing trilogy, and no one will tell me otherwise. This has to be the best trilogy in all of Call of Duty, even better than Black Ops, in my opinion. Alright, Black Ops was still really good, but anyways. This game for sure changed the Call of Duty series, because this was a huge improvement from World at War, at least with just the graphics in the game. I mean, World at War will forever be a good game too, but you know what I mean, just in the game's performance, it's so much better. Coming in at number 5, we have Half-Life 2. Now, this game had a really enjoyable multiplayer and also had a good campaign. Now, not a lot of games actually maintain this. A lot of games either have really good campaigns and then their multiplayers just kind of suck, or they have really good multiplayers, but their campaigns suck, and then they kind of just end up becoming this really weird battle royale game. This game, someone managed to maintain both, and still actually managed to become popular, so just gotta give them credit for that. Coming in at number 4, we have Bioshock Remastered. Now, if there's one Bioshock game that you have to play, it has to be the original. Like, you could ask the whole Bioshock community, if they had to choose one Bioshock game, it would most likely be the original. Now, I can't really explain why. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to play the game to understand it. Now we are at the top 3, starting off with Rainbow Six Siege. Now the reason this game is in 3rd place, it's because it's different from all the other FPS games. And I say this because the way most first-person shooters are is basically you just like rush around, like you run around everywhere, and then you just let out a clip on the enemy team and they're dead. And you basically just have to get this really OP gun or this really OP character and then just run around with that like weapon and then just absolutely, just like run around just like letting clips into everyone. Well, with this game you can't do that. You have to sit back and think strategical instead of just rushing in with like your OP class setup or whatever. You actually have to sit back and think. It doesn't matter how good your gun is. You need to lay low and then just sneak up on the enemy team. And not a lot of games, especially first-person shooters out of all games, actually make you do this. Coming in at number 2, we have Halo 3. Now, this has to be the best game in the Halo franchise. And I say this because unlike the other Halo games, in this one, you play as a normal Marine human. Because, in all the other Halo games, you played as Spartans. And this one just really puts you into the perspective that you can't really see when you're a 7-foot tall OP Spartan. And I could go on and on talking about this game, but I really, really don't want to spoil it for people that haven't played it, especially back on like the 360. Like playing this game on the Xbox 360 has to be the best feeling ever, other than like beating the Ender Dragon for the first time in Minecraft, or being that one boss in Elden Ring that you've been stuck on for like a month. But this has to be one of the, if not maybe even the best game out there. But it's just it is just a masterpiece. Like the voice actors can win an Oscar, the soundtrack can win a Grammy. This game definitely deserves like all the Game of the Year awards, and I can go on, but I'm gonna move on to number 1. So, what game do I personally think is the best first person shooter? Well, for me, that would be CSGO. And the reason is mainly because it's one of the very few online games that, first of all, managed to actually go this long. I mean, this game is actually pretty old and actually has a good community. I mean, like, Call of Duty is flat out racist. Destiny is full of a bunch of people that don't even have a life because that game, you have to spend 30 hours just to get one simple item. It's so grindy, and honestly, I hate it. And just a lot of other games just have toxic communities. Like even Rocket League per se. Like that game is full of sweats. And I think my 5-year-old called me the N-word on that game. I'm not even black, but I'm not even gonna get into that because I mean I'm not saying CS:GO doesn't have its, issues, but at the end of the day, it's still a very, very good game. That's all I have for you guys today. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.